Hi guys, Coop Trades here, just wanting to go over some of the stocks in my watch lists, why I'm watch listing them, kind of what I'm watching throughout the week. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I've been fiddling with these settings here for about an hour on this OBS studio, so hopefully it's not unbearable to see the screen at least, but yeah, so as you can see, Nasdaq still trading pretty high on the daily as well, just pretty flat. Then again, they just opened. The one thing that I do want to note is the price of gold and silver absolutely skyrocketing. I mean, gold is just all-time highs, all-time highs. And then silver, silver's going crazy as well. So it's been really interesting to watch how the markets have rallied and commodities have also rallied, which is not something that you see very often, but it's something that we're seeing now. So something to note there before we get into our, hot stocks or whatever you want to call it. Going to be looking at the daily time frame here. This yellow line is the 50-day moving average. I don't really want to long anything above the 50. I don't want to short anything below the 50. So it's just kind of a marker there. You can see kind of where the stocks are going to bounce potentially, that sort of thing. That's why I like to trade it. Anyways, the watch list consists of StockDoc. He put me on this software called Market Surge. I have my own screeners. All these companies are going to have great fundamentals, rising earnings, good EPS, great relative strength, all of that jazz. They're going to have it, and just going to be looking for simple chart patterns on these stocks. So this isn't something that I'm going to trade. I'm just going to go through the entirety of my screen here, which is 27 stocks. So if you're wanting to fast forward, I'm going to attach a link as well in this alert right here that you're seeing this from. Going to attach a link to Equity Insider, my newsletter. Going to be sharing, all the stocks that I'm personally watching, not just every single stock on my screen, or just 5 or 6 stocks, I think. So yeah, let's just start going through here. The first stock is Fix Comfort Systems. This one was on my watch list not too long ago. Looking for this break of pivot here. We did not get it. We're just now bouncing the 50-day moving average, but this is kind of no man's land, I don't really want to trade it in here necessarily. I mean, we can look at what the other moving averages are doing. We're kind of bouncing those, but not really something I want to trade. It's a great stock. It's up a ton from April. It was probably a nice short off of pivot rejection right here. It's a good learning opportunity, but actually not something that I'm wanting to trade here. So next stock is HTBK. So right here, you can kind of see that we kind of have a bull flag here, so to say, I guess, but not really something that I want to trade at all. I mean, look at the 50-day moving average. We're just so far extended. And in hindsight, it's only $1.50 that we're extending, but whenever you're trading a $12 stock, it's pretty extended. It probably would have been a buy, here or even here, or breakout pullback. Great setup there. I don't know if my screener didn't pick it up or if I just didn't pick it up. I'm not sure exactly what was going on there, but yeah, it was a great setup, great move. This is literally textbook, great fundamentals, rising EPS, great relative strength, sitting in a pretty good group as well, as Stock Doc likes to say. Stock Doc's one of the best in the business. I like learning from him. Next is FUTU. Stock Doc and I were watching this. Let me get rid of the 8 or the 9 and the 21 there. It kind of causes some confusion. But Stock Doc and I were watching this one right around the 50-day right here. We were looking for longs, kind of fill this gap right here, and we kind of rejected it. You can see we were bouncing the support level, and then we were trying to break out of this kind of resistance zone, plus breaking the 50-day moving average. Just didn't get to do it on that one, unfortunately. So, not something that I'm looking to long here. FIVE, another stock that's way too far extended for me to trade it now. Probably, I mean, I don't really see any great entries here. Pivot here, rejected pivot probably would have been a nice little small term short opportunity right there. But yeah, just not something that I want to trade that high up. As I said, I'm just going through all the stocks on my screener. So if you're wanting to, breeze through this. Click the Equity Insider link. Make sure you sign up to that newsletter. We do nightly watch lists as well as on these mid cap stocks, large cap stocks. But like I said, I'm just going through 27 stocks right here. So nice little opportunity for you guys to see kind of what we're looking at when we're looking to enter along here. So this is actually something that I might watch list here. You know, we're bouncing the 50-day moving average, not too far extended. You know, lower volume the last few days, but that's to be expected. You know, we got holidays and stuff like that, but this could potentially be a long or a short, just depending on how we react to 28. 28's a psych level. Then we'll have this technical level around pivot, around the pretty much 28, but 28.20 pretty much is a key technical level right there around pivot. If we break above 28.40, maybe with strength, we want to see some volume coming in. You know, like right here, see some green volume coming in here, here when we broke out last time. So that's kind of what we want to see here. We don't want to see a breakout on this right here, on this declining volume. That's not what we want to see. We want to see a breakout on some strong volume, like this candle right here. This must have been, not sure why there was so much volume on that candle. Next, but yeah, the NTCT is something that I'm going to watch list above 28.20 is where I'm going to put my alert there. Next stock is GMED. Not something that I want to trade, you know, just a huge gap up, but pretty good fundamentals. Just looking at it over here on my other screen, 95 EPS, 97 composite, B plus accumulation distribution. So it's a great stock. Could be good for a long-term hold, but I just don't want to swing it. You know, we're pretty close. I mean, I guess you could probably swing it if you get above pivot here at 92.48, but then you have all-time high resistance right above. So I don't know, just not something that I'd personally want to trade, just not one of my favorite setups ever. So this is something that I put in the Equity Insider watch list, something that I'm definitely watching. I just marked off a few key levels here just off the top of my head. We have this trend line here. We have some pretty significant support. You can see right here back in June, we bounced it, pretty significant until we lost it, and we lost the 50-day in the same day. But we're recently losing the 50-day here, so it's not something that I'm wanting to long right now. However, if we can see a bounce here, kind of drag the 50-day down with us, kind of see a bounce here, as long as we don't break below these key support levels, I'd call this trend line here also a key support level. As long as we can hold this, kind of get back above the 50-day, we can target 132, 145, and then all-time highs around 155. So this is definitely, or sorry, not all-time highs, pivot around 155, then all-time highs around 176. 176 is probably a stretch for the short term anyways, but this is definitely something I'm watching, you know, losing the 50-day, wanting to hold this resistance right here around 120.41, as well as this trend line support right there. So next stock is going to be, and that, again, that's TMDX is something that I'm going to watch list. Next stock is FNB. It's a great fundamentally company. We had declining EPS 2 quarters ago, but since then it's been plus 6%, plus 21%. It's just okay EPS rating. Like I said, we had a decline in April 16th, 2025 there, but I mean, just looking technically here, we're trading right here around all-time highs. So that's always a tough area to, you haven't seen volume necessarily except for selling in this instance. You haven't really seen volume above all-time highs because you really can't. So this is something I'm definitely watching. I want this 50-day to kind of drag up. I want to see more of a pullback here before we can necessarily enter FNB. It probably would have been a nice long opportunity right here. You got this resistance trend line here, kind of wicking it, and then you break out on some strength here, and yeah, the rest is history from 16 to 18. That's a pretty good move on an $18 stock, 2-digit stock there, but yeah, that's something that we missed, but we could be looking for longs or shorts. Actually, now that we look at it, we could be good for shorts here. I mean, last time we showed strength right up here to 17, we just fell off a hill, and I mean, that was probably November 24, so not really anything market correlated, but I mean, just looking here, we have a breakout, and we're right here, right where we fell last time. So if history is bound to repeat itself, then we could be looking for shorts here. Let's just look on the lower time frame just to see kind of what recently. It's kind of hard to tell on the daily on these kind of. So you can see we kind of have some resistance here around the 1775 level, support around the 1744 level. Just briefly looking here, we rejected pivot, pivot, pivot. We broke above, then we rejected fall, fall, fall. We're below the 50-day on the 1 hour. So we're kind of in no man's land here again. I mean, it might be a short under 1730 down to anywhere 1680 maybe. Just looking at it briefly. Um, yeah, we're just kind of in no man's land here. We had some selling pressure come in last Friday, that is to say, but just kind of not sure what we're gonna do here. We just need to see. Next stock is going to be ISRG. Just going right down the list here. We're on stock 9 of 27. This might be a long video, but that's okay. We're having a good time, right? This is another one that I put on the watch list. We're kind of in no man's land right here. But we have resistance at pivot around 582. We're at 577. Looking for longs here. Going to set an opportunity, or an alert around 584.50. I would say probably target those all-time highs, 600 or above. But yeah, this could be a nice long opportunity. We saw some nice volume coming in on last Friday, December 19th. Remember, again, it is a short week this week, so maybe not going to be trading a ton. I forgot to mention that at the beginning of the video, so just be careful on any ideas that you're going to be entering. Just note that it's probably going to be lower volume, as it usually is, through the end of the year into 2026. But yeah, I mean, I'm liking this setup right here. We're pretty far extended, but that's just because we had a huge gap up from 565 on earnings. Crushed earnings, 20%, 4%. Crushed earnings sent the stock flying up. That's why we're so far extended. But I mean, fundamentally, EPS rating 96, relative strength of the group B plus, A accumulation distribution composite of 98. I mean, you really can't get much better than a 96 EPS, a 98 composite. I mean, those are really good numbers. 82 relative strength compared to other stocks in the sector. I mean, it's pretty strong here. So we really want to see a break above 585 probably on volume for longs. That's where I'm going to set my alert at. Okay, back on to the next stock. And again, that's ISRG. So the next stock is RTX. We traded this not too long ago. I'm not really looking for anything on this stock. Just going to go over kind of why I longed this here. We longed it right here on the breakout. We longed it 173. We longed it up 8%, up 14 bucks. That's a pretty good move on a $100 stock here, but you can see we were pulling back, but the volume really wasn't supporting the pullback. And we're testing the 50-day. This is why it's so important to have the 50-day here. RTX, we bounced the 50-day, bounced the 50-day, had a gap up on earnings. We're pulling back here, but you can see we're forming this sort of bull flag. And then once volume came in on the 10th of December, you can see this right here, green volume right here on the 10th of December. We broke out above, we're bouncing the 50-day. That's a great example of a long opportunity there. They don't get much better than that, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, we long that from 173s to 186-ish. Yeah, that was a great move, great play. Glad we traded that one. That was a good one. WWD too far extended. Not really anything that I'm wanting to trade. I missed this move right here. When did that happen? Last Friday. Yeah, we kind of missed that move there, but not too much upside that we missed. I mean, just looking at it here, we probably would have longed here. I mean, 4%. That's a pretty good move that we missed, but it's just so hard to keep track of all of these tickers. SPXC. I'm pretty sure this is something that I watched listed on Equity Insider. Maybe not, but I'm liking it here. I saw this on my other screen here. Look where we are on the 50-day moving average, and just look at how it's reacted just this year to the 50-day moving average. We wicked it, we bounced. We wicked it, we wicked below, we bounced. Wicked below, we bounced huge on earnings. Then we're just wicking it, and then we wicked it again right here. But you can see we're kind of recovering. We're kind of recovering here. So I mean, if we were to look at this for longs, we're just saying, hey, look, we're bouncing the 50-day moving average. We have support around 200 psych. We have technical support around 202.34, and we can target anywhere from 219 to 233. I mean, upside is over 10% potential to all-time highs there. But I mean, yeah, we can just, I mean, zoom out just looking at this here. I bet the 1 hour looks pretty nice as well. Don't pay as much to much attention to the 50-day on the shorter time frames. They're a little distorted there, but we're kind of breaking out. Like I said, we have this psych support around 200, then we have technical support around 203, 202.77 ish. And yeah, we're breaking above here. We'd like to see a close, some strong close above 210, maybe 211 for confirmation. I mean, and there's not much in the way other than, 218, 225 in terms of technical levels. Let's look at the stock's fundamentals. We have an 88 relative strength, we have 97 EPS, 98 composite. You can't get much better number than those, folks. Like I always say, you can't get, I've said that like 5 times in this video, but you can't get much better numbers than those. On the shorter time frame, just kind of wanting to break above this, like I said, above maybe 211, 212, just for confirmation on the breakout. We want to see some nice volume come in. And yeah, I'm looking at this one for potential long opportunities for sure. This one's looking pretty good, bouncing the 50-day here. Next is NVT. Like we're reclaiming the 50-day here. We fell off on pretty significant volume here on Wednesday, last 2 Wednesdays ago, I should say. And we bounced the technical support around 95. We're reclaiming the 50-day here, not necessarily something that looks just absolutely marvelous to me. Yeah, I mean, there's just not much to chart here. Probably not going to be trading this one, but just something to put on your watch list. Pretty strong company. Next company is ROK. I'm pretty sure that we traded this last week or 2 weeks ago. I could be wrong, but I'm almost certain that at least I traded this. You can see we kind of had this cup, we had this handle. Let's zoom out a bit on the 4 hour time frame. Look, this is a perfect example of a cup and handle here. My drawing is going to be horrible, but we have a cup, we have a handle. Then we broke above this key pivot, 400 pivot and psych here. So I'm almost certain that I remember this setup. So I'm pretty sure that I traded it. Breaking above the 400 psych and the 400 technical. It's always nice when those line up. You can see we had strength breaking out of this cup and handle setup. And, we're just breaking out, pulling back, broke out pretty nicely there, all the way to 419. So, I mean, you look at that. That's a great example of a nice company that has pretty good fundamentals, not so good EPS, but it has a pretty good composite rating, pretty good accumulation distribution. So, I mean, that's a good 5% move there on the cup and handle if you wait for the break of the pivot. So, that's definitely something that we traded. Not necessarily, well, maybe something to look for longs here above. I mean, we're just trading around that 400 psych around the 50-day here. Zooming out, we're not so close to the 50-day, but yeah, it's definitely something to watch. Sorry, guys, we're on stock 15. I'm trying to go a little faster, but some of these stocks are just too good to just brush past. So, SEI, we had pivot here. We reject. Maybe looking for shorts here. 41.20 lose. I mean, it's just not much to go off of there. We're kind of in no man's land here. Not something that I'm stoked about trading. I'm not going to watch this. That's too far extended. Banks have been so strong, especially foreign banks. Those have been on a generational run, so to say, for a long time now. But yeah, it's just beautiful. You can see right here, breakout, just too far extended now. We lost it. So RL, this is something that I was liking. I watch listed it on December 12th, just seeing, we broke out. I was really wanting us to reclaim pivot around 375, but we didn't want it. Probably could have shorted it from pivot, but right here, I mean, that just looks not so good. Not something that I'm watching here. LOY is a stock that StockDoc literally almost timed the bottom on this one. I think he longed it at 1,000 side, maybe 1,020. I'm not too sure, but I'm pretty sure he got stopped out, but he was almost spot on his analysis. We just great trader, that guy. I love him to death. He's a good dude. But yeah, LOY is a great company. Great fundamentally. I mean, 98 EPS, 99 composite, group relative strength, SMR, accumulation distribution. They're all A's. Timeliness A. I mean, those are just crazy numbers. Let me make sure I'm reading this right. So August 7th, they reported earnings. They beat EPS by 61%. 61% increase year over year. And then last quarter, October 30th, they increased over 500% from the time before. Those are just crazy numbers from LLY. Great company, great organization. Love to see such strength like that. Not something that I'm wanting to trade right now, but potentially in the future could be something to look at here. Next stock is COLL, too far extended. Not going to even bother going over that one. FN is something that. Did I trade it? I might have. I don't know why this is here. I might have traded it. I'm not too sure, but maybe I put this here because I wanted to show this example. You can see we're breaking pivot here. We broke out of this resistance zone. We're just flying up, flying up. We broke pivot on strength. Look down here at the volume on strength. And I mean, that's just a good, I mean, even if you wait for the pivot break, that's a 7% move. But if you buy on the breakout, you buy it a little early, you cheat it. I mean, that's a 12% move over double your 6% if you wait for pivot. I mean, that's a pretty good trade there. I can't remember. I might have traded this. I'm not too sure. I'm not sure why that was there. Next stock is APH. Something that I'm definitely watching here. I mean, just let me zoom out so I can draw this little trend line that we got going on here. It'll let me. I mean, something that I'm watching right here on the 1 day, where we bounced the 50-day, we got below it, showed a little less strength there, and then we bounced above the 50-day. That's one of my favorite setups there, is when we're just recently reclaiming the 50. We have some support right here around 135 technical support, and I mean, probably psych would be around 140-ish, which is right around where the technical would be, just going off of this descending trend line here. But yeah, look for it for longs potentially around 140-ish, maybe around 140-ish. Just be careful around this pivot. You can see last time we tried to break the pivot, we just wicked it, didn't break above. So definitely something to watch, but just be careful on that one. Just be careful because couldn't go a different way here. Okay, so you can see we kind of had a cup here. You get to see my beautiful drawing here, cup and a handle, and then we haven't really broken above it yet, so this might be something to watch. Is this cup and handle setup right here? It's not the prettiest cup ever. That's just what my software over here is showing, is this cup and handle. But I mean, it's definitely something to watch here, is TEL, TE connectivity. I mean, if we can break above 235, I mean, there's not much in the way from testing, at least longing to test the pivot around 245, in my opinion. I mean, we're right around the 50-day moving average. We're not too far extended. I mean, if we can break above 236, maybe that could be kind of our break point, and then we could long it all the way up to maybe 246 or maybe even 250. So just something to watch there. AGI is a stock that I sent out an alert on. I'm not in it right now. I'm pretty sure I was on the 4-hour time frame when I was charting that. But I mean, we're just have such strength, but it's just so hard when we're pretty extended, when we're over $5 extended from the 50-day here. But I mean, let's just zoom in for a second. I mean, this is something that I'm really interested in, at least for watching. I mean, what's that? Alt J, I believe. Here and here. I mean, we're just kind of in no man's land again. But if we can break above, 40, 41, 25 maybe on some volume here, no doubt this is something that I'm going to be watching. It's a great fundamentally company, 97 EPS, 99 composite. EPS last quarter increased 95% year over year. So I mean, it's a very strong company, and you can tell why it's just, gosh dang it, why it's doing so good here. But we're pretty far extended. It's definitely not something that I'm looking at for short opportunities. If I do anything on the stock, it'll be a long. But yeah, I mean, there's uncharted territory, here. So it's always hard to tell when you're trading above all-time highs, above these pivots around 38. It's always hard to tell, but definitely something that I'm watching here. This is probably the stock or one of my favorite stocks to watch here. Not necessarily for entries right here, but we're retesting pivot, and that's always something that is very, excuse me, just got a drink of water there. That is always pretty important. You can see we wicked here, and then we tried to break this pivot. You can see we're trending up, bam. We're trending up, bam. We just rejected this pivot, and there's also a descending trend line, but they really match up really well right here. So if we can break above 220, there's no doubt in my mind. I mean, all hypothetically educational, of course, but that we could hit all-time highs at least around 225. I mean, it's pretty good fundamentally. 99 composite, 93 EPS, A plus group relative strength. So it's sitting in a really good group here. And yeah, I mean, it's just definitely something to put on your watch list. I mean, above, I would set an alert for 221 probably, not 220.5 to 221, just depending on how you want to trade it, how your own strategies will align with this. But yeah, this is probably one of my top stocks just to watch list, not something that I'm like, okay, let's buy this right now, Monday morning, right when the market opens, let's buy it. No, we're not doing that necessarily. But if we could see some volume come in, like right here, we need a volume candle like this right here. We need a nice green bar to come in, break us above 220, show us some strength, and then we should, in theory, be able to test 225 at least. However, if history is doomed to repeat itself, we test this pivot and reject. That's not why we're not trying to chase early entries right here. It's just kind of hard to do that on this particular stock. But FNV is definitely something to watch. OR, one of my absolute favorite stocks. I'm still in this position actually. I want to tell you guys kind of why I took the trade, why I'm still in the trade, and why I might actually buy average into this trade. So you can see we had this gap here. This is kind of something that I was watching. We had this gap down there, and excuse me, we lost the 50-day, and we lost it for quite a while, but we recently reclaimed it, and that's where we kind of got our pivot here. We rejected kind of how we were able to draw our descending trend line. And then we wicked the 50-day again, and we didn't lose it like we did last time. As you can see, I'm sure it's happened in history on the stock. When you lose the 50-day on almost any stock, probably not going to go too well. As you can see, back in 2023, they were trending up very nicely. They lost 50-day, went from 16 to 11. So it's just not something you like to see. But one of your favorite setups should be when you're reclaiming the 50-day on strength, like they did back in November 2023. I mean, that is just one of your favorite setups. You reclaim it, you bounce it, and I mean, the rest is history. $12 to $15 move there. But what I was looking for here on my loans was I was looking for a gap fill, which we recently got, which is why I closed some of my position. However, I might average up into it if we can break above, 38 psych, 38 technical as well. It's a very strong stock fundamentally, 94 EPS, A plus group relative strength, sitting in a great group. 99 composite, A timeliness. I mean, they just don't get much better than that, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, if we can break above the $38 level, I mean, we should be able to at least test 40, 42. But it's just kind of hard to tell. I mean, it's not on this stock necessarily. I don't know why I said that. But yeah, as you can see, we kind of had a cup. We haven't really done a handle yet. I mean, I guess that you could kind of call. It's just kind of hard to tell because we're still in the uptrend here. Doesn't look like we've had the handle yet, but it looks like we're in a cup. So potentially, I mean, just looking here, we just recently filled the gap. So if we can go here, kind of chop, 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 pull back, kind of form that handle here, and then we can break out. There's no doubt in my mind that this is definitely something that you guys should be watching for the cup to handle here, maybe even handle into this gap around 36.30, 36.50. Definitely something that you guys should watch there. Handle here. We had the cup. We're going to handle into the gap and then potentially hit 40, 42, maybe even beyond on this stock. You never know. Another stock in the mining sector, ORLA. I don't think I've traded this one before. Just kind of hard to tell. We're pretty far extended. This resistance trend line is definitely something to watch for shorts, maybe even. I mean, we just broke pivot. We're trading around all-time highs. I don't really like trading around all-time highs, just uncharted territory. You can't bring up your volume bars over here and kind of tell where you're going to go. But I mean, definitely could be looking for shorts here if we lose this trend line. I mean, look, bounce, 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 reject, bounce, reject. If we can kind of see a bounce and reject, bounce the 50-day here, bounce and reject, could be something for shorts around 1420. You know, if we can see some red volume come in. But then again, looks pretty hammerish. Not necessarily a hammer candle, but buyers tried to push it back up last Friday. So definitely something that I'm watching for longs as well. If we can get above the 15 psych, 15 technical, I mean, there's not much in the way. There's literally nothing in the way of it going higher there. So this is another stock that was on my watch list. I don't know why I put all these great stocks at the back of this video. I hope all you guys stuck around to watch it. I know I wouldn't like to listen to myself. Hey, you guys just saw my chat GPT. I was trying to fix my freaking OBS. But yeah, GMAB, very strong stock here. We're breaking out. This right here would have been a nice setup just on the breakout, just chasing it to the pivot. I mean, that alone is a 6% move. We're rejecting, but not on a ton of volume. I want you guys to look at the bottom of the screen here. 577K of volume last Friday. So not a ton of volume. Maybe wanting to pull back a little bit. Pull back, maybe consolidate, pull back a little bit. Let the 50-day come up to the stock. You know, what would be an ideal long scenario? You know, we're pulling back, but the 50-day is going to continue to go up. You know, we're above the 50-day. So if the 50-day can move up, and we can just kind of see a bounce around this area right here, that would be a very nice long opportunity. Just bounce the 50-day moving average, bounce it to pivot, and then potentially higher, just depending on where we can go. But even now, I mean, look at it now, it's still potentially a long opportunity. I mean, 3370 is pivot, and we're right there. We're literally right there. So if buyers can step in and push this thing above 34, could be a good long opportunity, actually, and I'm going to be watching it. I'm definitely going to be watching it for longs above 34 there. Pretty good company, not so good EPS. I mean, I say that 84 EPS, just not as good as some of the other stocks that we've covered. 84 EPS, A plus group relative strength, 99 composite, A timeliness. So definitely something to watch. Nothing in this video should be construed as me telling you to buy something. I mean, I just want these videos to be purely educational. At the most, you put these stocks on your watch list. I wasn't sure. I mean, I'm still not sure how you guys are gonna like these longer form videos. I mean, I was just kind of bored here. I was typing out this long equity insider post. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Uh, yeah, I was just typing out this long old equity insider newsletter. It's a great newsletter, by the way. If you guys don't subscribe, go here, go home, and then subscribe. But I was just typing this out. I just really can't get out all that I want to through the text. So that's why I don't know how long this video is going to be, probably 30 minutes or more. But I mean, this is just something that I'm really passionate about. I love sharing my ideas with you guys. Shout out to StockDoc for giving me the proper software to be able to share these ideas with you guys. And yeah, that's pretty much it. In terms of the watch list, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I need to mention going into tomorrow's trading day and into the week. I guess that we can take a look potentially at, let's just go to Unusual Whales here and just pull this up. Let me make sure that you guys can see it properly here. Yeah, that's probably good enough. So calendars, let's just look at the earnings for this week, and then I'm sorry, this video's taking freaking forever. I'm sorry, I just ramble. Not a ton of earnings next week. Biggest company is 314 billion market cap, and that's BHP. Is that? These freaking things are so. Yeah, BHP is the biggest company there, so nothing crazy there. Economic calendar. 12, okay, let's see. Economic. Oh, this is December. So we're on December 28th. Okay. So this week we don't have a ton of news. We have jobless claims. December 31st, we don't have CPI, we don't have FOMC, nothing to worry about there. Pretty much the main thing that I would worry about is if you're trading on Wednesday, but I'm pretty sure that's a half day. I could be wrong. It doesn't say half day. It doesn't say early close. So the 31st might be a full day, but we're going into the first there. So just be careful if you're trading that day. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll quit rambling. That's the end of the video. Thank you guys so much if you stuck around, me rambling through the end of the video. I really do appreciate it. Join the Discord server, discord.gg/marketvision. Post, free analysis. We have some of the top analysts in the game here. As you can see, I'll just pull it up real quick. Sorry to all the other server owners, but I doubt any other server owner watched it this late. We have Top Hat, we have Bishop, Scott, Namrud, Henji, Savant, Lux. I mean, we have the top guys in the business here, all completely for free. We have my own alerts, and we have exclusive Stock Doc alerts. He trades the exact same way I do. He taught me everything about this stuff. He's one of the best in the business. Great guy, great to be able to trade alongside him. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Nothing in this video is investment advice, as always. It's just something that I have to say there. Nothing is investment advice. It's all for informational purposes only. All trading involves substantial risk, including the loss of all capital that you invest. So just be careful when you're trading with these kinds of stocks. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys have a great New Year's. I hope you guys have great goals in mind. Hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you guys on the flip side. Goodbye.